Alright, in this video I want to do just some small improvements here. So I want to make it so if a door is unlocked by default, when you walk up and press F, I do not want it to open up this widget. Instead, I just want it to open. So we're going to do that check inside of door.cpp, go to our interact function, and here we have if the key code is not empty, we will go through, and this is where we open up our widget. We want to do a couple checks here. So if the key code is not empty, and we are in fact locked, then we perform the key. We want to bring up our key code widget. So if the door is unlocked, regardless, we should now be able to open it, which that go figure is not doing because we are checking a linked key. So let's get rid of that. So we do not have a key that we have to have, and we can still not open it. So let's see where the problem lies. And we should be making our way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relaunch with the debugger and simply see roughly kind of where we're going. Okay, it opened back up. I want to place a breakpoint right here at the top. Walk up to it, press F. We hit it. And let's where's step over. Okay, so we check if we have authority, which we should. We do not have the key, which is fine because, well, also it's not locked. If the door is not locked, we open it. Go through. Set the open percentage. So when we set the open percentage, that should trigger out the door, because it is replicated, to run. Then where is continue? There it is. So for some reason, that is not getting triggered. Let's see if anything prints out in the log. Press F. Nothing. Okay, so now out of curiosity, set the linked key of type actor. That's going to be a pain to filter out, so we're going to have to do some changes there later on. Oops. Set the linked key to be this guy, in which case I want to unlink that so it stays on top. Let's grab the key. Try to open it. And it still is not opening. So I'm going to confirm that that is still set. Could be setting our open percent. So I want to print it out. If I can right click, there we go. And see what it says. So it should be 0. Press F. And it is still 0. But we are going through, and it's as if we are not setting it to 1. If I recall right, that should fire. If we are not locked, which we are not, it should go through. Give this a try. Press F. That's open percentage to 1, which is correct. And the only way we can get in here is if we are the server, so that is still correct. So there's something very odd going on. So unless this is getting set somewhere else, because force interact should not be called, I'll do a quick test here and print out the value. No percent S, no, F. Open percentage. Do our live coding. So let's see where it is. Okay, so it's going from 1, and then it's getting recalled again and going right back to 0. So I know what's going on when we altered our character here. So we call interact. It checks and sees if this can, if this returns true or false. So if it does, we open the key code. Actually, I might have got myself confused again. So then we go through, we do our authority check, in which case we call interact, all like normal. So I'm going to go ahead and set a breakpoint in here. See what happens there. Go through, this should be false. Yep, should be true. Should be true, should call interact. And nothing else gets called. Okay. So that is seeming like that is working correct as well. So let's see. This is what would cause it to get called again? Because we are the server, correct? Yes, we are. Okay. We are returning. My guess is it's something related to our interact function. We are calling interact. Goes through, that should stop right here. Because it's returning true. Okay. I'm going to have to dive a little bit deeper into this, so I'll be right back. Okay, so all I did was I commented out these lines here. So as we can see, for example, I'm going to go ahead and do the live coding again. The only thing we have is the if statement, and that prevents us from opening the door. So when we call interact the first time, did not mean to go to the interface, it's going to go through something up in here is what is causing the issue. So let's hit the breakpoint. It is jumping over the return. So it's essentially calling this twice, which, as you can assume, and I did not mean to close out of that, but that is a problem. So we're checking if the door is not empty and if it's locked. So let me actually relaunch. Let's click on our door. The door is not locked. Okay, that's how we kind of want it. And there's no code. So if the door's code is empty and if the door code is not empty and the door is locked, we want it to return true to open that. However, we have it set to where the door is not locked and the code is empty, so we want to have an else here. So pretty much if the door is, let's see, I'm trying to think of the thought process here. Okay, so it took me a minute to realize what was going on. I got myself sidetracked and a little confused. So basically, because this is this is not returning true, it's returning false, we are essentially opening it twice. So we open it once with this block, and then because we're on the server, we're going to be opening it again with this block. So if we're on the client, we would just go to the server and then come right back down, and we would run into the same problem. And we also run into kind of the same problem as well on the client, but for there's another bug that's going to be going on, I can kind of see in my head. But we're essentially running it twice. And as you can assume, that is a bit of a problem. So how can we make this setup run only once? We want to run this on the client, and technically the server as well. But we also only want to go and open it based upon the value. So what we can do is let's just remove this block of code. Let's actually copy open key code, that portion. Let's remove that. Here we have our check. So here we have our first call to it. So if interact, this will be on the server, is true, we open the key code. Nothing else is going to run, so it doesn't matter. And here we can do another check for the client as well. So kind of the same deal. So if, oops, We want to perform the same cast, essentially run the exact same code. Copy our server call. We only want to call the server if this is false. So that should do that, and then should go through again. So the issue that I was talking about in the future, that bug, is going to be when we open the key code. So pretty much we are going to be opening the key code on the server as well, which is a problem. So when the client opens it, if we call the server RPC, it's going to open that code lock on the server. Now, as you can see, I can open and close it just fine. I can lock it. And it brings up that issue. Even though door key code is, what do you call it? There is no key code. So that is due to the check here. So we'll have to figure something out for that, but I'm not too worried about it. So if I set this to 123 with the door unlocked, it still works. And that's due to this little kind of section here. It's just screwing with it. Let me actually remove the door. Let me remove that print string, because that's getting really annoying. So it's kind of not working as intended, but let's give that little client thing that I was mentioning a try. Oops. And we lock the door. No, it only goes on the client. However, I would have thought it would have looped. Oh, right, because it's stopping it right then and there. Never mind. But we can ignore that part. So that bug is not a problem. So the only problem we have right now is we have to figure out, one, the door is locked and has a code. If I unlock it, it still has a code. We should still, in my opinion, we should still make it so we have to have a code, but I guess we don't technically have to. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like it. I think this might be a little bit better, so that way in the future, we can actually go through and lock the door. So when we go through and we lock the door, we'll make it so we have to enter in a code later. So we can have some kind of trap or trigger that we would have to figure out. It's just like another feature that we could have to control that. So that actually, on second thought, now that I think about it, I'm happy with it. So I think that's a pretty good idea. Okay, so we have all of our looping back and around set up. It was a little bit of an annoyance, but we know we're good to go. So we have fixed that little, what do you call it? The little bug we had. And I don't remember what we were trying to do at the start of this video. I think it was relating to showing the widget if the door was locked or something like that. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon down in the description below, where I have a Team Deathmatch series just for Patrons, where we create Team Deathmatch in Unreal Engine, as well as a couple other features like weapon customization and Call of Duty like spawning in that series. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join my Discord that's down below, and I'll try to help you out. So, I'll see you in the next video.